Alright, it is that time again. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the original Switch is now 7 years old, going on 8 years old. And I did not think we'd make it this far. I honestly thought we would have had the next system by now, as we've been talking about the Switch Pro, and these Switch 2 leaks are coming out left and right. It's like the boy who cried wolf at this point. Hopefully Nintendo announces this thing in this lifetime. Until then, I just want to get my thoughts out about it because I've been thinking about it a lot, and as I'm sure most of you guys have. The Switch 2 is a hot commodity right now. We're all desperate for it. We're grasping at straws, watching leak video after leak video, just desperately clinging on to any kind of news we can get about this thing. So, ever since Furukawa, hope I pronounced that right, announced it back in May, I mean, I've been, my hype for this thing has reached a fever pitch. Lately, I've just been kind of doing my own thing, playing the backlog and stuff like that, just because, I'm biding my time right now until this thing comes out. So, at this time, of recording this video, Nintendo has not revealed the thing yet outside of what we got from Furukawa. But anyways, let me get into the video. The Switch 2 needs to have these things. If it doesn't, kind of sad at this point, Nintendo, because it's kind of ridiculous where we're at in 2024 technology-wise. The original Switch is a potato at this point. It's still got a lot of good software on it, no doubt, but going forward, Nintendo needs to have these things on the next hardware. Point number 1, backwards compatibility. Nintendo would be foolish not to bring back Switch support, Switch 1 support, OG Switch, whatever you want to call it. I mean, arguably, the original Switch has arguably the best library in gaming history. Tears of the Kingdom, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Xenoblade Chronicles. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Now, I know there's been rumblings about it and stuff like that, but nothing's concrete. I don't believe it until I see it at this point, unless your name's Pioro, which that's a whole other can of worms. But anyways, yeah, Nintendo, the Switch 2 needs to be backwards compatible, support that library, get those games running even better. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom specifically come to mind. I mean, those games running at the minimum 1080-60 would be great to see, with improved textures, load times, instantaneous fast travel would be awesome. That would be a very wise decision on Nintendo's part. Point number 2. Most of these things are going to go without saying, by the way, but better online functionality. This has been a problem for Nintendo for a very long time. Local play has always been cool, like with the DS and the 3DS and things like that, but, by the time this thing comes out, it'll probably be 2025, we need better online. Online's here to stay, especially since that one event in 2020, people online game more than ever. And Nintendo definitely needs to strengthen its netcode and support these games with, better online functionality. I mean, Smash Bros. Ultimate, it's still in a rough spot online-wise. Some people can't make it out in person and do these things. A lot of people like playing from the comfort of their couch with other people across the world. And that should be a given at this point. And adding on to that, get rid of that app where you have to talk to people through that. That's ridiculous. Native voice chat, and also I would say is a must at this point, Discord integration. Everybody uses it now. It's just so convenient. Xbox has it, PlayStation has it. Nintendo, you got to get on that. So I would say Discord integration, native voice chat, perfect. Use your Bluetooth headphones, unless they make their own proprietary thing. I'm not sure where Nintendo's at with that, but native voice chat and Discord integration along with better online will make the multiplayer experience that much better. Point number 3, 4K support. At this point, I mean, well beyond this point, honestly. For the past, I would say 5 or so years, 4K has been the industry standard. It's consumer-friendly prices now. Most people are able to get a 4K TV, and I'm sure most have already adapted to it at this point. 4K support, even with how the base PlayStation 5 and the, Series X handles things. If you have your performance modes and stuff like that. Nintendo is obviously notorious for never being in an arms race, at least not in the past, 20 years or so. Nintendo obviously goes to the beat of their own drum. If it's as powerful as a PS4 Pro or a little bit over that, that's perfect. Have your performance mode, fidelity mode. God, we need a minimum 1080p 60 frames, man. It's just a shame, when I'm playing these amazing games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Breath of the Wild, stuff like that. It's just like these worlds are so sprawling, and so beautiful by the Switch standards. So it's like, anytime I play these games, all I'm thinking to myself is, man, I wish it would just look a little bit better, you know what I mean? Perform a little bit better. It just enhances the overall experience. I'm not saying graphics are everything, but my god, like, could you imagine seeing Zelda or Xenoblade or any of those games, that massive world, seeing it on Horizon Forbidden West levels of fidelity would just be incredible. But like I said, at the minimum, games should be running 1080p 60 frames, at least in dock. I know, the Steam Deck and things like that are running 1080 60 for certain titles. I'm not too familiar, so don't quote me on that, but yeah, for docked, 1080 60 should be the standard, but 4K support would be phenomenal to see from Nintendo. Obviously, it would be the first Nintendo console to support 4K, so yeah, Nintendo, get on it. Number 4, and this is honestly probably, all of these things are great, but like this one is probably one of my favorites. Better UI. Oh my god, for goodness sake, Nintendo. You have this option in the settings to change your themes, and you've given us black and white since launch? I'm not having that. That's ridiculous. Better UI, customization. If the 3DS can have themes, the Switch could have had themes. Having a theme shop or whatever have you, how they would have done it, you could have done it with platinum points, win themes like they do for their profile pictures. They do a really cool job of that. I love that you're able to unlock like new avatars and stuff from older games and things like that. Yeah, Nintendo's really got to get with the times on the UI front. PlayStation 5 hasn't been all that great. They finally added, themes, but it's for one portion, the Welcome Center. Xbox has it right, it's always there. People like having those options, including myself. Love, love, love making it my own. That's how it should be. Folders too. They somehow messed that up on the Switch. The groups, I get it, like you can still put your stuff in there, but it's in a separate section. Folders you should be able to add to the home page. Make it more lively, like it's part of the experience. Obviously you're not going to be looking at your home page all that much, but at the same time, having those themes with music, like I'd love to have a Tears of the Kingdom theme where like even the icons are like kind of that like ancient, the Zonai look to it, add sounds. Like, oh my goodness, on the PS4, I think it was when Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced, that they had the one wallpaper where it changed all the noises to the like menus of Final Fantasy VII with the music. It was just on point. So Nintendo, better UI, customization would be fantastic. Adding folders to the homepage would be great as well. If we were able to do these things on the Wii U and the 3DS, we should be able to do it on the Switch too. Should have been able to do it on the base Switch, but here we are, right? And last but not least, certainly not least, I could go on forever, but for the sake of time, the eShop. What the heck happened? We used to have awesome, like really chill music. The eShop was like a vibe. Even back on the Wii Shop channel was a vibe, man. It wasn't the best, interface or whatever, but it had life and charm to it that people still remember to this day. The Wii Shop channel music goes hard, man. They definitely got to improve the eShop. Anybody that's gone on the eShop knows how much of a slog it could be to search. Even to search for the one game you want takes forever to load. You could tell it's not like a totally integrated thing. Looks like it's running on like a web page or like something like that. The way it's loaded, or the way it's the way you like click on things and whatnot. But yeah, the eShop definitely needs an overhaul. Faster load times on that. Just give it a new look, give it charm, give it a Switch 2 new coat of paint. Another thing too, this kind of ties with the eShop, obviously kind of ties with Nintendo Switch Online. Give people the option to buy retro titles a la carte. And what I mean by a la carte is able to buy those games and keep it like we did back in the day. Now, does it suck that we couldn't transfer those retro titles from the Wii? Absolutely. But, maybe I'm just a sucker for Nintendo. But I'll buy Super Mario World 5 times over, Donkey Kong Country 5 times over, just to keep it where I don't have to worry about having a subscription service to play those games. It kind of stinks, like if I had $4 to spare, I think that would be a fair price for a SNES game, like $4 or $5. And, just be able to keep it and curate you know, my own retro collection. Now, Nintendo Switch Online definitely has its place. You know, the service has definitely gotten better since its inception. But I mean, the subscription model craze these days, it's gotten so out of hand. I mean, it's been out of hand for a long time. But like, if they're gonna do a GameCube eventually, I'm not sure where they're headed with that. Obviously, since we've seen like remakes or remasters in the form of 1,000 Year Door, Metroid Prime, and things like that. But if they're, you know, I'm sure they're going to continue the subscription model, but give gamers more choices. It's always a good thing. Pro consumer, I know you guys got to make money, but keep that subscription service. People will still use that. People will still pay for that. But offer those titles for sale, you know, a la carte. Let me buy those games. Let me keep it on my system, not worry about a subscription model. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. Because this video would be like 2 hours long at this point. But I think that Nintendo definitely needs to incorporate these things. And hopefully, like I said, in this lifetime, we'll get a Switch 2 reveal. Like I said, as of this time, nothing yet. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. Take care of yourselves.